All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am Jacqueline Morosco of Spirited Practice, and today we are going to do a practice for the neck and shoulders and the piriformis, which is a narrow muscle that goes along the back of the pelvis, kind of like right through the glutes. So prepare yourselves. What I'd like you to have close by would definitely be a tennis ball or two, um, some sort of like blanket roll or bolster or foam roller, something like that. And let's get started. So take a comfortable seat, and as always, we're going to start with a focus on the breath. And so I like to put the hands on the body. I want you to find some way to breathe and feel yourself breathing with your whole body, right? So we're going to start there today. So long, smooth breaths. So no gasping or grasping for air. Long, smooth breaths. And taking a moment to notice how you feel in your body. And thinking about how you want to feel when we're done with practice today. So noticing where you feel sensation, where you don't feel sensation, where there might be pain or ease, just kind of, notice what's happening in your body, set your intention, and then think about the possibility of continuing to breathe fully throughout the practice. Now, after you set your intention, I want you to take your hands down onto your thighs and start to make some big circles with your body. So slow, big circles, feeling where your sits bones at the bottom of the pelvis and your butt, where they connect to the ground. And we're going to pause for a moment and then go in the opposite direction. And you're just noticing, like, does your breath change? How does your body feel as you're moving in these circles? And again, we'll come to a place where we pause. And then I want you to find your tennis ball, right? And you're going to come over to your side. And what I want you to do, you're going to start at the top. So I'm standing up so that you can see what I'm doing, but you're going to be down on your side on the floor. And we're going to take the tennis ball across the top of the, kind of like the center of the pelvis, right? And we're going to do one side at a time. So you come down onto your side, you place the tennis ball there, and you're going to roll. I have to change the angle of my camera. You're going to roll side to side, okay? And you're just going to do the one side. So kind of rolling front to back. And it's very interesting. And for right now, I don't want you to be concerned, right? Am I getting the right muscle? What I want you to notice is how it feels in your body. Nothing hurts. And you're going to control how much weight you have into the tennis ball by either pressing down with your elbow and your foot and your knee, right? You control how much weight goes into that tennis ball. Now, it's possible after a little bit of movement that you're ready to move to the second side. And maybe you want to stay here a little bit longer. My body wants to stay here a little bit longer. And you're still breathing, right? And you're making sure it doesn't hurt. And let's say within the next, 10 or 15 seconds, we're going to move to the second side. So remember, the idea is to go kind of across the low back, kind of the low back glute, right? and moving front to back. So the idea is to go horizontally along one side of the pelvis. And noticing sensation, using your weight into your elbow, your feet. On this side, this knee doesn't want to come to the ground, and so I would use my feet to lift me up if it's too much pressure into the tennis ball. Now, you might be wondering, what you could do if you don't have a tennis ball at home. You can use another sort of squishy ball. You don't want to use something that doesn't have any give. You can use another rolled up mat. You can even use like a ball of socks, right? Like where you take the socks and you put them into a ball. Okay, so a little bit longer. Make sure you're exploring. And when you start to feel done, we're going to do one more point on the pelvis. So this time, you're going to start up at the hip and go at a diagonal down to the center of the glute. So you're starting at the hip and you're going to roll into the center of the glute. We're going to do both sides again. And so, of course, on the video, it probably looks like the same exact thing, but you know that you're going from the corner of the hip down into the center of your glute. So at a diagonal, and you're breathing, and you're noticing the sensations that you're feeling in your body as you're here. Now, within the next, breath or two, we're going to move to the second side. You probably notice we're not staying as long on this side. Looking for, comfortable, maybe slight discomfort, but never ever any pain. Okay, and you might notice that sometimes I just stay in one spot and sometimes I move back and forth. You need to explore and see what feels good in your body. Now, when you feel complete with that, you're going to take your tennis ball out and put it in a safe place. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees. And so finding, comfortable spot. I have a little blanket under my knees. You might like a blanket under your knees. And we're going to have our hands under, just slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips and about as wide as the hips. And here, I want you to look down at your hands. The index fingers are pointing forward, so towards the front of your mat. And you're going to keep your arms straight, so you're not going to let the elbows bend even though they want to. And you're going to engage your lower abdominals. Okay, now inhale is going to be body flat. Exhale, you're going to drop your chest down. Inhale, up and down with your chest. And when those elbows want to bend, you're going to not let them. And you're still breathing and moving and noticing what's happening in your body. We're going to pause for a moment. Inhale up with our flat back and tabletop. Exhale, rounding the low back as you come down towards child's pose. Moving with your breath. Inhale is up. Exhale is down. Now, one more time. Now, next time that you come up, I want you to find your weight in your right hand and lift your left arm up in line with your ear and possibly turn your head away from that arm. So that's inhale, exhale, back to center. Alternate sides. Inhale, arm extends, head turns away. And we've done this pose in lots of different positions. Exhale, head back to center, hand back to the ground. One more time on each side. And obviously, like with everything that we do, if it doesn't feel good, you're not going to do it. Now, when you're done, we're going to walk the hands over to the left, shift your hips over to the right, inhale up with a flat back, exhale down towards child's pose. So now we're doing a moving pose from tabletop at an angle down to child's pose at an angle. Moving with your breath. The next time that you come down to your angled child's pose, you're going to pause there for a moment. The breath continues to move, noticing where, if you feel sensation in your side body, your shoulders. You can use the floor, like I walk my fingers away a little bit to extend or enhance the stretch. On one of these inhales, we're going to come up to a tabletop position, walk through the center, shift the hips over to the left and walk the hands to the right. Inhale up and exhale down. Again, moving with your breath. And obviously, if it doesn't feel good to move up and down, then you just pause in whatever position feels good. Now, this next time you come down, we're going to stay down. And again, enhance the pose in whatever way feels good, right? So does that mean walking your fingers away? Like what, I always ask this question, in a pose, what can I do to feel good in my body? Now on one of these inhales, you are going to make your way back up to a tabletop, walk your hands to the center. And again, check out your positioning, right? So wrists slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips, both hands and knees about hip and shoulder distance apart. We're going to stretch out the right leg, turn your toes under, and we're going to reach that right heel towards the ground, right? So my toes are turned under and touching the floor, and my heels reaching towards the ground. My hands are pushing away, and I'm still breathing. Now, and of course, if it's too much pressure on your wrists, and you want to use the whole hand so the pressure just isn't on your wrist, but you could be on your elbows, okay? Now we're going to bring that knee down to the ground and shift sides. So now my left toes are turned under, heel reaching towards the ground, really stretching through my calf and my Achilles, pressing away with my hands, still breathing. And again, we're going to shift back to neutral, and then we're going to stretch out the right leg so that it's parallel with the floor. You'll notice I come up onto my fingertips here. That feels good in my body. Going to bend the right knee, flex that foot, and press up towards the ceiling. So it's a little pulse. You're still breathing. Still breathing. Again, you could be on your elbows. You're going to return the right knee to the ground. Stretch out the left leg, flex the foot, bend the knee, and again, gentle pulse up towards the ceiling. Still breathing. And you're noticing, like, what do I feel in my body? Eventually, we're going to return that left knee down to the ground. Now, in this next pose, you might like to have a block on either side of you. And we're going to be kneeling, all right? And we're going to stretch out the right leg, right? And then you have your blocks on either side, and we'll extend the arms. I have my left toes turned under to help give me some stability. Arms extended. Inhale is going to be up. Exhale. So you could come down to the block. You could come down to your leg, and then you're going to reach that other arm, your left arm overhead. Inhale, come on up, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, and we're just going to alternate sides, and you're only going as deeply as it feels good in your body. And you're moving at the pace of your breath. And then after you do it a few times, you might explore, do you want to start to bring your vision towards that lifted arm? Do you want to keep your vision straight ahead? So we're adding in slight neck movements if appropriate for us. This is going to be our last time. And we're going to end on this side with our left hand down on the ground or a block. Stretch that right arm overhead. And you're pressing your right foot into the ground as you're reaching away with that right hand. Long, smooth breaths. We're going to turn that palm, right palm up towards the ceiling and press. Keep breathing. Pressing, pressing, pressing. And on an inhale, carefully make your way up. We're going to bring the right knee in. Take a breath. And actually, before we move on to the second side, take one of your blocks if you have one, place it in front. We're going to inhale, sweep both arms up in line with your ears. And exhale, hands, tops of the hands onto the pelvis, forehead towards the ground or the block. We're going to do this for 4 times. Inhale up. Exhale, forward. Moving with your breath. And this will be our last time. And this next time when you come up, you're going to get yourself set up again. This time we're going to extend our left leg out. Body is in line with your bottom leg. Left leg extended, foot on the ground. And then set up your blocks if you're going to be using them. Connect with your breath. Extend those arms out. Inhale, upright. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale, upright. Exhale to the right. And again, we're going to keep moving at your own pace with your breath, noticing that pause when you inhale to the center, right? So it's not just like a swinging back and forth, side to side. There's always that pause with the inhale. Exhale, inhale up, pause. Exhale down. There's again a slight pause in the pose. This is where if you want to add in bringing your vision towards the lifted arm, if you haven't done so already and you want to add that in, you could. And you can also make these movements slower, right? So the next time that we come over to the right, you're going to pause there. You're going to press that left foot into the floor. So feel those muscles engage as you do so. Your left arm is in line with your head and body. And then we're going to turn the palm up and start to press away. Now, on the other side, I didn't remind you, but I want you to think here, your weight is mostly in your right knee and your left foot. The right hand is here for balance on the block or the floor, but our weight is more in our legs than in our hand. And you're pressing up towards the sky with that left hand, and you're finding a comfortable place for your head, and you're still breathing. Still breathing. And we'll return the palm back towards the ground. Inhale, come on up and bring that knee in. And one more time, we'll go to our counter pose with possibly a block in front of you. Inhaling the arms forward, up in line with the ears. Exhaling, hands onto the pelvis, forehead to the block or floor. Inhale is up. Exhale, down. 2 more times. And this will be our last time. And then carefully making your way back up. Now, if you have blocks, you might take them over to the sides of your mat. And we're going to step forward with your left foot. And I talk about this a lot, but you want to make sure that your knee is over your ankle on the left side, right? And that you're using all 4 points of your foot still, right? Now my right knee is behind the hip so that I'm opening the front of that hip flexor. And you could be on the top of your foot or toes turned under. So you're finding a comfortable spot first, and then you might have your hands on the floor on some blocks. Now today, I want you to connect that left foot to the floor. We're going to turn the right toes underneath and lift that back knee off the ground. So find your balance. Now, just like in our previous pose, I want you to make sure that your weight is in your feet and your legs, because we're going to take the hands off the ground and bring them up onto the thigh. Right? Possibly. If that doesn't work for you, then keep your hands down on the block. Still breathing. Again, if appropriate, you're going to reach those arms up towards the sky. If not appropriate, maybe they stay on your thigh or on your hips. Continue to breathe. Now on an exhale, we're going to bring the hands back down to the ground. Gently place that knee on the floor. And we're going to straighten out to the best of our ability that left leg and flex the foot. And then possibly you're going to reach your head and body towards that knee. Continue to breathe. Now, some of you might like to stay with your body towards your legs, and some of you might like to inhale up and exhale down towards your legs. So see what feels better in your body and then choose. And the general rule is, if we're looking to increase flexibility, we move. And if we're looking to strengthen, we hold. Not always, but that's the general rule. Now on one of these inhales, we're going to lift the body up and bend that front knee again. Keep breathing. And one more time, if your right toes aren't turned under, you're going to turn them under and lift that knee up off the ground. And this time, we're going to press with that back foot and walk that leg in a little bit. Take your blocks forward, and you're going to lift that right leg off the ground. Maybe it's parallel with the floor and flexed. Long, smooth breaths. And then we're going to extend the leg on the inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to bend that knee and reach it towards your head. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee towards the head. One more time. And then very gently place that right foot down on the ground. And now we're going to step back with our left leg into our lunge. So again, now our right foot is forward, knee is over the ankle. We're using all 4 points. And we're going to place that left knee on the ground. And you're just checking out your body in this spot, noticing how it feels. What do you need to change, if anything? Then we're going to turn the left toes under, lift that knee up off the ground. Make sure your weight is in your feet. Possibly your hands come onto your thighs. Maybe they reach up towards the sky. Maybe they're on your hips. Maybe they're still on the blocks. Long, smooth breaths. And just checking in. How does your body feel in this position? Right? And then on an exhale, the hands will come back to the ground. You'll gently place the knee on the ground. And we're going to start to straighten the right leg and flex the foot. You notice I walk my hands back with my blocks. And again, reaching the head and the body towards the right knee. possibly staying there or inhaling up, exhaling down over the leg. And just noticing, does it feel good to move back and forth or to hold? No matter what, you're still breathing. Now, when you're ready, on an inhale, you're going to lift your body up, start to bend that front knee, walk your hands forward, turn those left toes under and lift that left knee up off of the ground. So here we are in our lunge again. Connect with your breath. We're going to walk the hands forward as we step the foot forward a little bit. You engage the 4 points on the right foot. And we're going to lift that left leg up so that maybe it's parallel with the ground. The foot is flexed. Inhale is going to be leg extended, body extended. Exhale, knee towards the head. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come in towards the center. Moving with your breath. This is our last one. Then we're going to place the left foot down on the ground. Inhale into a half forward bend and exhale in towards your legs. And if it feels good to bend your knees, then bend them. Right? It's all about getting the right movement for your body. So we're inhaling, extending the body, exhaling, coming in towards the legs. One more time. Then we're going to inhale and come all the way up. All right, so now that you're standing, I want you to have your feet about hip width apart. Feel the 4 points of your foot. And we're going to have the hands on the thighs. Inhale, body upright. Exhale, you're going to sit into a partial chair and you're pressing the heels of the hands into the tops of the thighs. Inhale up. Exhale into your chair. And when we come down, not only are we pressing with the hands, you're engaging the muscles of the front and the back body, right? One more time. All right, now the next time that you come into your mini chair, we're going to hold that position. Keep breathing. If appropriate for you, you're going to shift onto the toes and lift your heels off the ground. If not appropriate, you just keep your heels down. Keep breathing. On an exhale, gently place your heels on the ground. Slide into your forward bend with those bent knees. Hands come down onto the ground. You're still breathing here. And we're going to bring the left foot to center. And you're going to lift up that right leg again. And you might have your hands on blocks or on the floor. You're going to bend that knee, just like we did when we were on our hands and knees, and you're going to press up towards the ceiling. So you probably have noticed already what we're doing today, a couple of different poses in different positions, right? Meaning the same poses, but we're doing them in different ways. We're going to place that right foot on the ground, bring it to center. Left leg comes up, bend the knee, flex the foot, and press up towards the ceiling. And you could have that standing leg bent as well. Still breathing. Again, gently placing that foot on the ground. Now, I have to see where we are time-wise. Having so much fun. Now, what I want you to do from here, I want to do a balance, but I think we're going to do it down on the ground. I want you to come into some sort of squat. So you could have a rolled blanket or mat under your heels. You could have, so in our squat, we want our heels to have as much weight as the front of the foot, right? We want the weight between our feet to be even. So you could have a rolled blanket, you could have a block under your butt, right? Or you can be without the block, but we're going to stay in some sort of squat for a number of breaths. And your hands can be at your forehead, your heart center, on the floor, whatever is most comfortable for you. Little roundedness in the back. Think about those 4 points in your feet for a moment. And now any tension, and of course, hopefully this pose isn't giving you any tension in your head, neck, back body, just rolling right off down into the earth. And within the next breath or two, we're going to carefully make our way down to the ground and stretch out your legs. And then we're going to take them into a wide angle. And some of you might like a little rolled blanket under your sits bones so that you can have your shoulders over your hips. Now we're going to bring in our feet, so the bottoms of our feet are together, and there's space between my groin and my heels, right? And then I'm going to hold on to my left leg wherever it's comfortable, at the foot, the ankle, the knee, the back of the thigh. We're going to stretch that leg out, right? And we're just going to use the same side. So you're just going to bend and straighten that leg. And again, you can hold wherever it works for your body, right? And it doesn't matter if your leg straightens completely. We're just kind of exploring how our leg bends and straightens. And then we're going to place that left foot down and move to the second side, right? You're exploring and making sure nothing hurts. And again, the next time that foot comes down, we're going to have the bottoms of the feet together, make a nice big diamond here. And then your hands are either going to be on the top of your ankles or underneath. You're going to inhale up and exhale into a long, so an extended spine, forward bend over your legs. And you're noticing again how you feel in your body. Long, smooth breaths. And again, I'm staying forward, but some of you might feel better to inhale up and then exhale, come forward. So moving as opposed to holding. On one of these inhales, you're going to bring yourself up. We're going to bring the feet flat on the ground and point your knees up towards the sky. I'm going to turn to the side now. Okay, so here we are, and feet are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit more, shoulders over the hips. And now we're going to inhale, come forward, open your chest, exhale, round the back. And as I'm doing this, I'm rolling on my sits bones, right, front to back. So inhale, come forward, open up the chest, take the shoulders back. Exhale, round the back, chin towards the chest. Just moving with your breath. No rush. One more time. And then we are going to straighten the legs. And again, if you find yourself rounded here, then you'll want to, and some of you just might find it more comfortable anyway, you might like to have a blanket under your sits bones, right? And the sits bones are right at the bottom of the pelvis. It's the bony part that we sit on, right? Hence the sits, right? All right, so now here we are. We're sitting upright. You're going to stretch your left arm up and turn your head away. That's our inhale, and exhale back to center. We're going to do this just 2 times on either side. Inhaling the arm up, head turns away, exhale, head back to center, arm comes down, alternating sides. Great. Now You're going to inhale up. Exhale, you're going to slide your left hand to the outside of the right foot or leg and turn your head away. Inhale back up. Alternate sides. Slide down the outside of the leg. Turn your head away. Inhale, slide up. Exhale, slide. And it doesn't matter how far down you come, right? We're gently sliding down the outside of the leg, turning the head away from the direction that we're sliding. And always exhaling back at the center. No, boy, getting the breath really messed up today. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, one more time to your second side, and then come on up. And once we're sitting up, I want you to roll through your shoulders. So comfortable seated position, we're going to roll through the shoulders. And you can do both at the same time, or you can do one at a time. And you might do a little of both. But you're seeing what gives you the best sensation in your body as we're doing this part of the little program today, right? And then we're going to come to a place where we pause for a moment. And here, I want you to be in whatever seated position feels good. So I have my legs crossed, but you can have your legs in whatever way you want, because we're going to focus just for the next few moments on the head, neck, and shoulders. And so I don't want your mind to be worried about your legs, right? So get a comfortable seat in the bottom. Then you're going to inhale, head upright. Exhale, gently bring your chin towards your chest. And that's the movement. Inhale, head up. Exhale, chin down. We're not going to do that because most of us get that movement a lot from looking at our phone, but we're just doing that to start to stretch the back of the neck, right? Now, you're going to keep your head upright. Inhale, center. Exhale, you're going to turn. And we're trying to keep our head, like you're not dropping your chin down, you're keeping your head up as you turn. So just like you're saying no. Right? Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Beautiful. Now you're going to keep your head upright. Wiggle your shoulders for just a moment. Inhale, head up. Exhale, you're going to take your right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhale, head up. Exhale, left ear towards the left shoulder. And notice we're not dropping the chin forward. You're just taking the head to the side. So sometimes it's nice to do these movements in front of a mirror so that you can see how you're actually moving your head, because we might think that we're dropping the head to the side, but actually we're dropping it forward. Okay. And the next time you finish to the left side, we're going to pause for a moment. And I just want you to close your eyes and notice any sensation you feel in your head, your neck, front and back, sides. And after you observe, we're going to inhale, head up, exhale. We're going to take the right ear towards the right shoulder. We're going to keep the head like that. If it feels too heavy, you can help hold the head up with your right hand. And then we're going to roll through the left shoulder. So your head is reaching over to the right, and but not dropping forward, right? Just over towards the shoulder, and you're rolling through, and you're going to go a couple of times in each direction with the left shoulder. And then some of you, I don't generally like to use the weight of the hand to add more pressure, but some of you may like that. Okay, now we're going to stop rolling the left shoulder. Inhale, lift that head up. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Again, if it feels too heavy, you might hold the head up with your left hand. You might just let the weight of your head give you that traction, and some of you might add in the pressure of the left hand. And then we're going to start to roll a couple of times in each direction with the right shoulder. And again, it's always an exploration. Like as I was rolling, I I got the urge to kind of push my shoulder forward. So listen to your body when those thoughts come to your head, right? And again, we're going to eventually stop rolling through the right shoulder. Inhale, lift the head up. Now, depending on how your legs are, we're going to take the legs into a wide angle, but not super wide angle, and walk your hands in front. So shoulders over hips. Inhale, body up. Exhale, we're going to walk those fingertips forward, and notice I'm not dropping my head. Lead with your heart. One of my famous and favorite things to say. It's not so famous, but it's definitely one of my favorite things. Lead with your heart. Now, one of the things I like to do, so here we are, heart coming forward, head is still in line with my shoulders, and I'm pulling my heels towards my body and bending my knees slightly. So explore that little pull with your heels, slight bend in the knees, still breathing. My body's being helped to stay upright slightly with my hands, and then gently release the knees, walk your hands back. We're gonna bend the knees. And I was thinking, yes, if you have a bolster or a foam roller or a couple of blankets, what I'd like to do today, and so I'll show you how to do this with a bolster first, right? So here I have my bolster at an angle with the block. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to take the right outside of my thigh. It's going to go at the base of the bolster, and then slide that right hand underneath. My college students and I call this cuddle pose. And once I teach it to them, it's all they want to do. And so now if you don't have a block, you could do it with your bolster unelevated. And if you don't have a bolster, you can take blankets and stack them up. And hopefully you're in your position relaxing as I go through these different poses. But just in case you don't have any of this stuff, most of us have some sort of blanket that we can use and bring your body down. And so just enjoying gentle little stretch and twist and relaxing. Maybe your eyes are closed now. Long, smooth breaths. Settling in. If you find yourself thinking about anything except your breath and your wonderful body, just bring yourself back to your breath. And yes, cuddle pose is one of those positions that you can just settle in for a while. Because it is a gentle supported twist, we want to make sure that we give the same amount of attention to both sides. So however you are in this pose, before you move, I want you to think about how you could, in the least disturbing way, get yourself to the second side. So you're going to think about it, picture it in your head, and then you're going to transition. And so I'm moving in the way that's not the least disturbing, but it's so that I can still see you. Okay, so again, now you're going to have the outside of the left thigh at the end of whatever you're using as a bolster. Left arm possibly coming underneath. Head in the same direction as the knees. Making sure all of you feels comfortable and supported. So maybe you have to put your socks or shirt on or cover yourself with a blanket. And just settle in, long, smooth breaths. So this is the point in our practice today where I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself, how do I want to be in my Shavasana today? And then you're going to get yourself set up in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And some of you might even choose to stay in your sideline position. But comfort is key. And as I've also been known to say, Shavasana is the most important part of the practice because it gives us an opportunity, our mind, body, spirit, to integrate all that we've been doing. So even though it might seem like a bunch of movements, there's a lot happening physically, emotionally, energetically, as we're doing a practice, right? So as you find this comfortable place to settle in for Shavasana, corpse pose, final relaxation, whatever you want to call it, long, smooth breaths, and you settle in, you ask yourself, is there anything that would make this position more comfortable for me? Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha. So starting to focus on your breath, long, smooth breaths. Noticing how your body is feeling in this moment. And asking yourself, beautiful body, do you want to move right now? And if so, starting to make slow, gentle movements. And if it's comfortable and you come to a seated position, I want you to take your hands and place them on the low back, right? So, and if it doesn't feel good to have your hands there, maybe place them on the front of the body. And for the next few breaths, what I want you to see is if you can breathe into your hands on the back of the body. So can you detect, as you're breathing, can you feel the lower part of your body moving into your hands? Without forcing anything, without judgment, just noticing what is. As you can probably tell lately, my quest is to get us all breathing with our whole bodies. So looking for different ways, different touch points to feel that sensation. And then you might slide your hands to your side bodies or like to the outside of the hips. And there's no wrong way to do this, right? You're using your hands to feel if you can sense yourself breathing with your whole body. And it's possible the first couple times you do this, you don't feel it. And then one day you do, and again, just no judgment. What is? And then letting go of that. And the thing that I would offer you for today as a possibility is, what would your life be like, or how might your life change if you were to always breathe with your full body, right? If we were aware and breathing with our whole body, would that, or how would that change your life? So I hope that you're all feeling well, and I'm going to invite you to, let's do our 3 sounds today. So inhaling, reaching the arms up towards the sky, and exhaling the sound Q to the heart. Inhaling, arms out to the sides, exhaling the sound Ah to the heart. Ah. And inhaling as we scoop up from the earth the sound Om to the heart. Om. So wish you a blessed day. Namaste. And that's it.